This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast, episode 134. Paul Rank joins us. He is on the road in L.A. Wade had a dinner to go to for business stuff, so he unfortunately wasn't able to make it. I know he is always sad when he misses a show, so it's usually Wade and I when Paul's tied up. So for once, Paul, it's you and I, and then we have a collector out in the middle of, I say middle of nowhere, not really, in North Dakota, Ryan, who we'll get into your backstory and some of those things and exciting changes coming up soon with you, but welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a fantastic background you have there with lots of colors. We'll get into all of that fun stuff here in a minute. So excited to talk to you. Of course, the as always, the drink for this evening, this time in my old fashioned, is Uncle Nearest Single Barrel. It's become one of my newer favorites. But if you can find Uncle Nearest, I always suggest you pick that one up. So cheers to everybody. Speaking of drinking, I know we're a little over a month from now, and we'll touch on that sooner, is getting to see Mitch and me getting to meet Mitch for the first time in person with the Drink Your Face Off line of barware and clothing. Make sure you reach out to him. Hopefully he'll bring some to Vegas and all that when he's here, so we can could show some of that off, maybe do some modeling or something.
That's just sinking in that you have not met Mr. Mitch before.
No, I mean, Justin met him before I did. I feel very
not even
out, but I'm
not even at
counting
the St.
days.
Louis All-Star game.
No.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm shocked.
It will be the first time. I'm very excited, looking forward to it. And we have Patrick with Public Display of Collection. I'm actually going to be reaching out to him. We may do kind of some special giveaways in Vegas with that, so we won't do a pre-giveaway for this month, but we'll tie some stuff in with the Vegas Expo in April. So reach out to Public Display of Collection. We do, as always, appreciate both Mitch and Patrick for being sponsors of the show. Handful of auctions to talk about, touch on. NHL Auctions has a few. They have Buffalo Sabres home set ones. They close just in a couple days on March the 8th. We also have both set home and away. I'm sorry, they both close on March the 8th. There's a lot in there that are not very expensive. The jerseys for warmth, Pittsburgh Penguins jerseys, those close on March the 13th. We touched on those some in the last show. And also the Jets have some jerseys out here as well. The game-worn heritage jerseys, they just opened about 2 hours ago. And they close on March the 15th. It's the game-worn heritage jersey. Hellebuck's is in there 9 days to go. It is worn during the first period only. That's at least for Hellebuck's. I didn't look at all the description. Worn on December 13th, 2025. They'll get the certificate, all that kind of things. So check the descriptions if you're looking at different players. Some may be different than others. My Grade did launch another auction today they are going through the wild stuff. Holy cow. I didn't realize they had gained that much wild archive stuff, I guess, for lack of a better words, when they got all that. These are from green 0203 set and a red 1112 set of jerseys. You've got Willie Mitchell, you have Cliff Ronning, Gaborik, Dupuis, Dwayne Rollison, and Manny Fernandez, if you like goalies in here. The red ones are super nice too. With Koivu is in there, Danny Heatley. Those are a big list. Those are up for 21 days, so you got plenty of time to bid on all those. Make sure you get in and check those out. The Kraken have an auction running. Just stumbled across that earlier this week. That's at SeattleHockeyTeamStore.com. Those go until, and they actually just do have some jerseys. Buy it now too. 2 more days on the 25-26 home set ones for the Kraken. Starting price, and some of them do not have any bids, start at $600. Little high, I think, for starting bids on jerseys, and maybe that's why people are staying away. And I know they're not the hottest team in the league by far, but they are out there. And I believe there's even one, they do have Mason Marchment's, I think it's the third jersey, the glow in the dark one. It currently is at $900, has 20 bids with 2 days to go. That's the only glow in the dark one that I've seen. The rest are just a standard. I'm not sure why that particular one is in this auction, but everything else is just a standard home set ones. And say, go ahead and check those out. The other one that we may touch on just a little bit before we get out of the show, just because it is finishing up in 13 minutes, but we'll touch on that before we wrap up the show, is the Colorado Avalanche Nordiques auction. I know there was a lot of excitement and stuff with that, with 12 and a half minutes to go. Devin Taves is at $27.75. McCarr's at $9,700. There's 3 McKinnons listed that are, one's at $8,025, one's at $9,500, and they list them A, B, and C. C1 is currently at $13,925. The rest are in the $2,000 to $3,000 range. Landeskog's at $8,700, but we will swing back on those final prices once the auction ends here in just a little bit. So check any of the other ones out. Good luck on the bidding or things like that if you're looking at those things. You have some Expo updates, Paul.
Well, before we do that, one more jersey auction. The Sens have their 2024-25 playoff set up for bid. That's ends Friday, March 6th at 8 p.m. The starting bids are high. You mentioned that. Players like Nick Jensen, starting bid is $800. Brady Tkachuk, starting bid is $3K. Batherson, $1,500. Stutzel, $3,000. These are starting bids, not actual bids right now.
And looking at the Jensen, I did just pull that one up. Nobody's bid on it. That tells me that's a stupid amount to start that at.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've seen that any bids on any of these. Yeah, I'm looking at Batherson. Decent player, no current bid.
Yeah, Tkachuk, same way. No current bid. Yeah, I think they've overpriced themselves.
Yeah.
I tell you what, guys, I follow Vancouver, and I was in on their auction that ended 2 nights ago, and I think half of their jerseys went with 0 bids.
Wow, what was their starting bids?
Besser was 1,300 Canadian. Pedersen was 1,300 Canadian, and then it dropped down. There was a few of them in that range, and then it dropped down to 1,100, and then I think 900, and then I think I don't remember what the super low end, but I mean 900 was kind of right in there. Again, they're Canadian prices, but I mean, I think there was ballpark of 20 jerseys, and I would say 8 or 10 of them went with no bids on them.
And here's the thing and look at using your example, and then Ottawa's here. Why not start them at $300 or $400 and let the market dictate? Even the Avalanche, who we know, and the ownership, Kroenke and that are cheap asses, for lack of a better word, right on their auctions, right? I mean, you don't have to click on it. The FMV, the fair market value, was listed at $350, and that's what they started those at. Yeah. And they're insane. Why not put that? Because anything above that is gravy to the teams. Yeah. You paid, and like I say, a lot of teams I see put the fair market value of $350 on their jerseys. Your team has spent that much on the jersey. Let it all be gravy. Don't start with stupid amounts, because then you get like this. That's idiotic.
And I don't know what teams do, but if you have a jersey that, like you said, is 1,500 or 1,300 or 3,000 or whatever, then it doesn't get any bids on it. What do you do? Do you put it in the next auction for less? Do you put it in the pro shop? What avenue do you do, after that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, on these Sens ones, there's only 3 jerseys with bids, and they close tomorrow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Stutzel, Pinto, and Greg. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't understand, the Vancouver ones didn't seem that expensive from what you're describing. I know they're having a dreadful season, but
right.
Still, I thought someone like Nikki would get all of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hey, we do love Nikki supports the show. We always love giving him crap and stuff. But I may have to reach out and talk to him, get his thoughts on that too. But yeah, it is just why throw different prices? I think they're going to go if the player's popular and you start at reasonable price, you're going to get good money out of it.
100%. Yeah. And like you said, if you start at all of them at $300-400, I mean, the high end players are going to go, they're going to fetch your, if you want 3,000 for whatever that number is, they're going to fetch that no matter what, And then on the other side, if you have them at $400, at least you break even on some of the, we'll say the entry level jerseys, right? The low end jerseys that, if a guy wants a jersey for a decent price, $800 is pretty steep. But if you can get one for $300 or $400, maybe you get some guys to come in and introduce them to the hobby, get a game worn jersey of some of those players that aren't in the All-Star game every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people are going to be much more if they see overpriced right off the bat, they're just not even going to bid. But if you give them a chance, I mean, it's better for everybody.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You've not invested 100%. Money in those. The team hasn't invested besides what they paid to get the jersey lettered. So it's all gravy.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into the Avalanche prices and other stuff. Touch a base a little bit on that, but we do want to give some Expo updates because clocks are running and there's Expos are coming.
Oh yeah, so we're back into heavy Expo season. So this upcoming weekend is the show up in Winnipeg. I did not check in with Pat in the past few days. Last I heard, there were still 5 or 6 jerseys left for the grab bag. So if you're interested in getting in that, reach out to Pat. It should also be on the webpage too, but that should be a great show. The following week is the LA show here, a week from this Saturday, somewhere close to Pasadena. And I'm looking forward to that. Mitch is coming down for it. We have a couple other people from San Jose driving down. Looks like that has a really good turnout. And then the big show coming up in Vegas over Frozen 4 weekend. Couple notes to make on that. Our block of hotel rooms is being held for another week and a half or so. So if you have not yet booked a room at New York, please do so, because in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we have to release that block. I'll send out messages on Facebook and other reminders on that. We still have tables left if you have not gotten a table yet. I know Ryan's waiting on North Dakota to make the Frozen 4. So
we're hoping they're having a good year. Hopefully it's North Dakota, Michigan in the final, right?
I would love that. I'd be so damn nervous the whole well, I don't know. If we make it there, I'm just be nervous the whole time anyhow. But North Dakota, Michigan final would be absolutely incredible. But I know Western's going to have a say. Michigan State will have a say. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. The field's stacked. I mean, there's college hockey's in a good place. There's a lot of parity, a lot of great teams. So
yeah, and we had Denver's still there too. I never count them out. It's
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it. So if I will start pushing out more information. If anyone needs anything, just contact me about the Vegas show. We're pretty excited about it. I can't believe how quickly it's coming up here. So.
Oh, for sure. And funny story. Paul knows the story. I haven't told on the air yet because it happened after we recorded. As of course, I got my hotel rooms booked for a while, had my flights booked for a bit, got it all sorted out. I wake up this past Friday morning with a notification from United, who's I'm flying with, going, "Hey, there's been a change in your itinerary. Take a look, see if you need to update it, whatever." And I worried first about leaving if they messed with that. because I fly out where I'm at 9 in the morning. I get into Vegas about 3:30 just because of layovers and stuff, which is fine. It was my return flight. My return flight was originally scheduled a nice 9 a.m. flight on Tuesday morning, post Las Vegas Golden Knights game and all that. Get to kind of sleep in and then jump to the airport, be home by 5 o'clock. It appears, for some weird reason, United doesn't like to fly during the day. And I don't know what the hell's going on, but that flight has been totally canceled. But texting with both Paul and Bill Gaber, our host in Vegas, my new plan is, because that's what they by default assigned my flight, is now a red-eye flight at 12:35 in the morning. It puts me back here at 9 o'clock in the morning. But I messaged with Bill, he's been games on the East Coast, was at Capitals games, it was at Pittsburgh games, I think was at Detroit the other night, catching up with him. But I said, okay, here's the deal. What time do Knights games get over with? Is it about 10 o'clock? I'm like, okay, my flight's at 12:30. Expect any issues? Nope. I said, okay, I will leave the rink, grab my luggage, and be at the airport and fly out overnight. Yeah. So I've never actually done a red-eye flight or that kind of stuff back home. It'll be a long, exhausting day and be tired when I get home, but I'm kind of excited to do it that way. And it did save me a night of hotel room, too, so I can spend that on hockey or bourbon or whatever when I'm in Vegas. So, but just plan for those kind of things. It was a little unexpected, but I think it's actually working out a little bit better in my favor, because the next flight was going to be Tuesday night at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. And it put me back at like 5 in the morning, Wednesday morning. Oh. I don't know what the hell's happened to United with daytime flights, but now I have to fly from, and again, I don't care. It's just an extra leg as I go from Vegas to Houston, Houston to Chicago, Chicago to Decatur, Illinois, where I'm flying into. But not extended layovers, and it is what it is. So traveling's always fun, but I am very excited and already starting to kind of plan my packing, because of, again, bringing all the podcasting equipment and all that stuff with me makes it a little bit, plus some jerseys, makes it a little bit more challenging.
Yeah. For those who have not been to Vegas, the airport is, I don't know, 5 miles from the Strip at most. When you land,
it's 2.5 from New York.
Yeah, 2.5. And that's via roads, or, because I know it's when you land at the Vegas airport, you can see the Strip. I mean, it's right there.
Yes, when I did, because I basically want to see how long it would take, like estimated driving. Of course, I know Ubers or that are sometimes do their own thing. But yeah, estimated driving, I think, was like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
It was something really, especially that time of night, I think will be much easier for me. But
yes, and we will show you where to get the Uber. Monica and I learned that on our last trip there for the Red Wings game this past season.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
And let us know, put it in the comments if you're coming out to Vegas, or if you're coming to any of these 3 shows, kind of like just to hear where people are going. So we are excited, and again, I hope Pegspo goes awesome this weekend. I can't wait to hear about the draft, and yeah, I think, what was it, half to 3/4 sold? I know you said that once, but I was trying to also see if I could find it.
Yeah, I think last I heard from Pat, I think there were 6 jerseys left.
Okay. So yeah, you've got a few days, reach out to Pat. And I know there's a lot of people chomping at the bit to see what they end up with. Yeah. And then LA, and then people rest for just a little bit, and then we travel to Vegas.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. So I'm doing a quick check on how many spots are left, and it is not loading quickly for me, but where did it? And as you know, when you're doing things quickly, like, there it is, luck of the draw. And does it say 1, 2, 3, 4? Let me see if I can add 6 to my cart. It will not let me. There are only 3 items left to add to the cart.
All right. So
3 spots left, and luck of the draw.
Get those spots sold. You got a couple days left. If you're doing it in the U.S., reach out to Pat, and he can bill you that. If you go to truenorthshop.com, find luck of the draw. It's in there, and the info for that is all there as well. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to Pat. Well, we've rambled enough, so I think I'll let you introduce Ryan, Paul, because you've known him. I've known him for the last hour, so you've known him a little bit longer than that.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, Ryan. Longtime collector, based in, as Doc said, the middle of nowhere, which I guess is also North Dakota.
Yeah.
And welcome aboard. We have some other stuff to talk about later, but we actually want to get into your collecting habits. What you collect, and
Yeah.
I'll let Doc ask. He seems to want to always ask the questions on this. So
No, I appreciate you guys having me. Thanks a lot for having me on the show. So,
Of course,
uh,
just years of interview practice. So I guess we'll start with the easy one. How long have you been collecting?
I think I got my first game worn jersey. I was actually thinking about this just the other day. I think it was in '03. So
wow.
I've been doing it for over 20 years now. But I happen to, so of course, being in Grand Forks, North Dakota, we're huge UND fans, North Dakota fans up here. And they had, I remember I was in school, I was in college, and they had an auction for game worn jerseys. And I was curious. I loved the team. I love all the okay. So I ended up picking one up, and I got it home, and it was just shredded. I mean, just beat up. It had repairs all over. Still have the jersey today, and it was just awesome. Like, I mean, I bought one and I was hooked. So, of course, after that, being in college, I mean, you don't have hundreds of dollars to throw at jerseys. So, after that, I obviously had to save up, do some things. You know, obviously save your money and pick up one or two every year, and then yeah, here I am now with that behind me, with you know what I have now, I guess. So yeah,
I say you definitely have to love the color green.
yeah.
But
Well,
it is a good color. UND's jerseys are always sharp. So you've always been a hockey fan.
always, yeah. I started playing. Well, I mean, I played my whole life. Started skating, when I was really young, 3 years old. Played all the way through high school. All that kind of stuff, and ended up in Grand Forks for college. Um, just have been skating my whole life, kind of been around hockey for, over 40 years. So yeah, really been part of my life for a long, long time. So.
And looking at it for those of you who are not watching the video, besides a nice round rack just full of UND jerseys in different colors, there is a nice rainbow over your shoulder. So
Yeah.
so while it appears you do a lot of just UND, what else do you go after?
Yeah. So, there's kind of a debate in town of who the hometown team is. We're in northwest, or excuse me, northeast North Dakota. So we're 2 hours away from Winnipeg. Of course, you got to go into Canada for that. So some guys are like, "No, that's not our home team. That's not the closest team." So then we obviously have the Minnesota Wild. They're roughly 4.5 hours away down in Minnesota. Now we are right on the border of Minnesota. I mean, I live 3 miles from the Minnesota border. So there's quite a debate in this area of who we'll say the local NHL team is. So I go for the Jets, which makes some pretty good back and forth with a lot of guys around here. But I'm a Jets fan, so and kind of a funny story. I was a Jets fan when I was growing up, when I was a little kid. So grew up a Jets fan, went to a Jets game, and I don't remember when this was. I want to say 93 ish. And then big Jets fan. Well, then what happened? They moved. So then here I am, 12 years old, 11 years old, and I'm like, I don't really want to be a Phoenix fan. They're not really close. Well, so then a buddy of mine was a Pavel Bure fan, loved Pavel Bure. Okay, I can get on board with that. So then for the next, how many years, I was a Vancouver Canucks fan. So, okay, so then I moved to Vancouver, I move on to Vancouver. Well, then guess who comes back?
It's like they missed you.
Yeah. So then Winnipeg comes back, the Jets come back, and I'm like, huh. So do you go back to the team that you were loyal to when you were up till 12, 13, 14 years old? So I kind of have this split, we'll call it, right? Like I'm a big Vancouver Canucks fan, I'm also a big, we'll call it hometown, Winnipeg Jets fan. So those are the two that in the NHL I collect. I collect quite a bit of Winnipeg and Vancouver, and I've just settled on collecting them both. Right, I can't pick just one.
And and that's okay. Is you have the loyalties to both. Again, like you said, you get the team taken away from you for a while, and so you got to go somewhere. And I mean, and Vancouver's, of course, been around a long time. They have a solid history with players and different things, and so is Winnipeg. But and I will say, out of looking at some of the teams even currently their jersey designs and stuff, I really do think the Jets jerseys are very sharp.
They are, and they've done a great job with the alternates and some of the, even done some throwbacks, whatever. They've done some, the heritage stuff. They've done some really nice stuff. And, on the flip side, I'm a huge fan. I love the Canucks logo, the skate logo. I've always have. I just think that it's so awesome. They brought it back. I mean, I don't mind the Orca logo. It's okay. But man, the skate logo just is, to me, it's awesome. I love it. So I love that they brought that back, and forces me to buy a lot of game worn jerseys now that they have that back. But that's, those are my two kind of NHL teams. I do have a fair amount of my collection focused on North Dakota alum in the NHL. Johnny Taves.
Sounds like somebody else on this podcast with another team.
Oh yes, yeah. No, I'm happy. I love your collecting focus.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons. But,
yeah.
And I'm glad, but I am thankful we're not competing against each other for the same jerseys.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yes. No, it's and it's funny. Good college teams: Michigan, North Dakota, Michigan State, Denver. All of them. They put so many good players in the NHL. They really do. And I think it's fun. We got Jake Sanderson, who's doing great up in Ottawa, Jackson Blake, obviously the older guys with Besser and, Taves and Parisi and some of those guys. But I think it's so much fun to collect them because, you usually watch them for 2 or 3 years when they're at North Dakota. You watch them develop and I end up following their careers kind of through the NHL and no, it's fun. I absolutely love it. So,
yeah, same with me for the Michigan kids. I absolutely love doing that. It's to me, it's a collecting focus that makes sense. But I do have to know. You mentioned your first jersey was hammered, and I'm assuming it was a UND jersey. Who was the player?
Jason Gregoire.
I am not familiar.
So Jason Gregoire, he was drafted by the Jets. Went up and played in I don't remember who their farm team was out east before Manitoba, the Manitoba Moose.
Back east, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not Newfoundland something or no,
yeah.
I should know this. It's
I should too. I can't believe I don't. But yeah, so he played out there for a couple of years. I don't know that he ever made the big club, but he was really good at North Dakota. Played 3 years here, and then signed a deal with Winnipeg and played out there.
St. John's Ice Caps, I'm betting.
St. John's, there you go. Yes, absolutely.
I knew it was somewhere out east there. So
yeah. And no, I still have it. Like I said, it was torn up and it was so awesome. Like, when you're so new to the hobby and then you get something and you see all the, one of the things I love when I get a jersey is to look at the repairs and look, I always love to look at what games they were used in. All those things, just like I said, I like about him and seeing him playing that jersey. And then obviously it's all beat up and it was really cool. Got me hooked instantly. So,
yeah.
But no, it's like I said, North Dakota.
That's wonderful and not surprising. So.
Yeah. And obviously North Dakota is fun to watch too, just like Michigan. It's good hockey. It really is. They have good players. Yeah, we were talking about Hobie Baker jerseys earlier. I have, so North Dakota only has two Hobie Baker winners ever, with Tony Herkus in '87 and Ryan Duncan. And I managed to pick up Ryan Duncan's jersey when he won the Hobie, his white jersey for that year too. So
Very good. And Herkus, a former St. Louis Blue alumni, so that
yeah,
fits right in the Herkus
yeah,
Circus.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So
I've,
no,
I've heard
go ahead. Yep.
I said I've heard wonderful things about that rink in North Dakota. I have not
Oh,
been there, but I know you guys. It's supposed to be really, really nice. Which I love Yost, but I would never call Yost nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be the first to say we're absolutely spoiled here. We really are. We have this, 12,000 seat arena with there's not a bad seat in the house. I mean, it's phenomenal. And um, yeah, you couldn't ask for a better atmosphere or just anything. I mean, it's beautiful. And you know what? The nice thing is so we have season tickets obviously here, but they keep them reasonable. It's, I mean, people are always gonna, argue whether they're too much, but for what we get, the entertainment we get, and the cost per game, those kinds of things, it's awesome. So they do a lot of great things here. And if you ever have the opportunity, feel free to get a hold of me. I'll definitely get you tickets, and we'll get to the game. And we always say they have $12 beer night every night. So
that sounds awfully cheap compared to what we have out here. So, and
yeah,
what you will see in Vegas at the Frozen Four. So,
yeah, right, yeah,
but and you guys travel so well. I mean, if North Dakota does make the Frozen Four, it's
oh,
there.
yeah.
You'll take over half that rink. So,
Yeah, I tell you what, and we don't have, Grand Forks is a small community, and North Dakota in general is, we're pretty small, right? We don't have a lot of peers. So North Dakota hockey is pretty big for us. That's our team. That's what we travel for. So North Dakota does a great job of having destination games. They have a game in Austin. We play now I'm going to forget, but we play in Austin. Is it Michigan State? No,
is this some sort of like the icebreaker tournament or something?
no, it's
No.
it's the U.S. Hall of Fame game,
Oh, okay,
and,
interesting.
and it's in October. It's over like Halloween, like October 30th, 31st, somewhere in Austin, Texas. So we play down there. We've been to Vegas for destination games twice. Played Penn State and Arizona State, and then we went to Nashville, and yeah, we played BC out in Manhattan at the Garden. So they do a great job of putting these games kind of, all over the country, and I tell you what, they're sold out all over. So
I just quickly pulled it up. Your game in Austin is on Halloween this year against
yeah,
Michigan State. So
yeah, Michigan State. Okay, that's what I thought. Michigan State. Yeah, so it should be a good game.
yeah, I figured if it was Michigan, I would have heard about it. But
Yeah,
and that should be a great matchup. I mean,
yeah,
it's I assuming both teams have enough coming back that they'll both be top five, and
yeah.
it's going to be really entertaining. Way too much green for my liking, but
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. And I've always said, I've only seen us
yeah.
play Michigan.
Not that I have anything against North Dakota, but that other team, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The other, no, I get that. There's a bit of a rivalry there.
Oh yes, it's so much fun though. It's Monica knows this about me. It's our big football game's Ohio State. So we have some big rivals and stuff, but still in every sport, the one game where I just get nervous no matter what we're favored by, what we're underdogs at, whatever, it's Michigan State. I just that game is, in hockey, 2 hours of hell, football, 3.5, 4 hours of hell. But
Yeah.
I'm thankful when we win them and it's over. But it's when we're playing Ohio State, yeah, I want to win, but or Notre Dame in football, I want to win, but my day's not ruined if we lose. If we lose to
Yeah.
Michigan State, my day's a little bit worse. So
Oh, I tell you, and I hear you. So the Minnesota North Dakota rivalry.
yep, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I've been to, I want to say every series for 15 years, I've missed one or two in the last 15 years, either in Mariucci or here. We usually go back and forth, and it's so much fun. But man, you get into the game so much, and if we win, it's awesome. If we lose, you're just like, I mean, it's yeah.
Oh yeah, it hurts. Now,
Yeah.
I remember back in the 80s and 90s, there were rumors during that game of you guys, not necessarily you, but your associates throwing frozen Gophers on the ice.
Still happens today.
Oh my. Okay. I did not know if that was true or not. I mean, I know we throw the squid in
Yep.
Detroit, but
Yeah. So I have some stories back in it wasn't me. It was prior to my time here. But at the old Ralph Engelstad Arena, they used to have students used to be able to run around the concourse, like jog around the concourse. They used to leave it open. And so what guys would do is they would go get a frozen gopher and they would bring it in and they'd pretend they were running, and then they would tape it under the seat. So when they got there, they wouldn't have to sneak in the gopher because they would pat them down and they would throw them out if they had these gophers.
oh my.
Yeah.
Not what I expected to hear on the show tonight, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know where to send complaints to, but don't send them to us.
We do not encourage this behavior, but it's funny as hell to hear about.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the atmosphere. Like we were talking earlier, the atmosphere of a college hockey game is, I mean, it's awesome, right? You got the band, so and you got the student section, which usually is rowdy and heckling all the players. They're there for warm-ups and they're just going after the players, and it's I mean, like I said, Paul, I'm sure I mean, the atmosphere is just awesome,
Oh, that's why you go. Part of the reason why you go, you get great hockey. The atmosphere is incredible.
Yeah.
I will say we went to the opening weekend at Arizona State against Penn State this year. That was something that was missing. The atmosphere is still fun, but the students still have a ways to go there. They don't really, they're not into it like they are in Michigan, Michigan State, BU, UND, Minnesota, all that. And they did not have a band, which was shocking. I mean, it's at the Frozen Four, all four bands, I guess, unless Arizona State's there, but they won't make the tournament. They bring their bands, and it's especially when you get in crunch time. I mean, they have prearranged times they're allowed to play.
Yep.
But when a game gets an OT or late in the third, I mean, the bands are competing against each other, and Doc got to see some of that in the Western BU final last year.
Yeah, and like Ryan and I were talking about on the air before we went on is the band stuff, and I thought that it was just so cool. You can't explain that atmosphere. I mean, I've been to a lot of higher end NHL games, and it's not the same. It's crazy, and it was so awesome.
It's just in when I was a student, we sat down in the student section and I mean, you kind of took pride in how you could heckle the other team, right? I mean, the student section is placed right outside of where the other team warms up, and you're yelling at the goalie. You're yelling. I mean, you're doing everything you can to get in their head. And then the student section at the Ralph is right next to the opposing team's penalty box. So it wraps around the penalty box there. You get a penalty and you are just going to hear it. I mean, it's relentless for the 2 minutes you're in there, so, but it's fun. Like I said, I absolutely love it. I think, the college hockey atmosphere, even when we go on the road, we travel quite a bit. We're not far from obviously Minneapolis or St. Paul or Minnesota Duluth or Bemidji or Mankato or some of these Minnesota teams. And being on the opposite side, going into a rink where you're not the home, you're a little bit of hostility. I don't know. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I mean, you banter back and forth a little bit, but I would say 99 times out of 100, you banter back and forth. But you know what? After the game, you're buying each other drinks at the bar down the street, right?
And that's the way it should be. I love that in sports, especially college sports, where afterwards, go grab a beer with them.
Absolutely.
I've mentioned it on the show before. We had the Michigan Cornell series in late 80s, early 90s. Can't remember the exact year. But Cornell, it was a playoff series, best of three, back when you had the NCAAs had first round was at home team site. And Cornell came in with so many fans. And I'll be honest, Michigan stole most of their cheers from Cornell. And it's because Yost was not the intimidating place to play back then. But that weekend changed everything.
Yeah.
And I think it was 89 or 90. I'd have to look it up. But that was a 3-game series. We lost game 1. They scored with like under 6 seconds to tie it at 2, and then scored 2 minutes into overtime. And then we ended up winning games 2 and 3 to go on. But man, the fans they brought in were just, it was so loud. I've never heard, up to that point, I'd never heard Yost like that. And it really, really changed it. And it was so much fun. Met those guys at the bar afterwards. It was great.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's like I said, and we're definitely, we're definitely lucky we got that here. So to you too, if you guys ever want to make a trip up here, to North Dakota, pick a good series and call me for tickets. I'll help you guys out.
I will definitely take you up on that. I would love to see Michigan go there for a series.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone to like UMD and some of the other, we go to Western every year, which is always a great game. It's the only game I cheer against Western. So
the only time I've seen Michigan at North Dakota was in the I think it was 03 regionals.
That might have been the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
it
was
the regionals. Yeah.
Yeah, where Holy Cross beat Minnesota.
Okay.
And then we ended up beating Michigan.
Yeah.
And so that's the only time I've seen Michigan here, and that was over 20 years ago, so
and if I remember right, it's you guys didn't just beat us, you took it to us. I mean,
and I guess I don't remember all the details, but we were good. We went to the Frozen
we
Four.
were very good that year. That one was painful. So
but hopefully I don't know why Michigan, North Dakota don't schedule more. Maybe it's a powerhouse thing. If one team loses, it hurts in the MPI too much, or I'm not sure how or why I guess
it actually does. I mean, the old pairwise and NPI, losing to a top quality team like that, well, winning really helps you. I mean, Michigan has a sweep against Providence this year, and Providence I think is like 5th or 6th.
Yeah,
and that as you get into the comparisons really helps. If we had lost that series or split it, it hurts. So it's. But you did bring up a good point about the NCAA tournament. A team like Holy Cross can beat a 1 seed like Minnesota. Yeah, it happens a lot more than in basketball. Yeah, and it's so frustrating when you're one of those top seeds and you lose to a
And the thing is, in college hockey, it's different than obviously NHL. You have one bad game in a 7-game series, you can still come back and and do just fine, right?
Yeah.
When you're one and done, you got the 16 teams and you're one and done. You got to come to play every game, right? I mean, if you take a game off, your season's over. So
no matter how good you are, I mean, you can't recover from that.
Absolutely. And you know what? With the new CHL, with the kids coming down from Canada, and now, I mean, there's so much parity in college hockey. I mean, there's some great teams that they might not be ranked in the top 20, but they'll come in and they'll have a good night, and you might have just kind of a medium or not a great night, and they'll put it to you. So
it's it happens more than I would like to see at Michigan. So
absolutely. And we have Bemidji State. I don't know if you're aware of them. They're they're about a 2-hour drive to the east of us, and we have a home and home every year, and they're I mean, I don't know where they're ranked. I mean, they're probably 30th, 35th, I mean, they're down there. But that series is the most hard-fought series. I mean, they just go after each other. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if they're 35th and we're 2nd. That's a series that they just kind of beat the crap out of each other, and it's a good hockey series. So again, a team like that might not get the recruits that North Dakota does, or Denver or Michigan, but they come into play, right? They do well.
That good rivalry series like that. Yeah, it doesn't matter where they are in the standings. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's what makes it fun, right?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So how many total jerseys do you have in your collection?
About 350, I think, somewhere in
Very
there.
nice.
Yeah, I think I got so about 100 of them are North Dakota. And I would say about 100 are split between Vancouver and Winnipeg, and then the other 150 are again players, and I do have some USHL jerseys and international. I mean, some guys have played international, some USA stuff, so kind of mixed between there as well. And then I do have not of those 350, but I'm I'm in big Oakland A's, Sacramento A's, Vegas A's, kind of whatever fan as well. And I have been for a long time. Again, goes back to when I was 4 or 5 years old, but I have, I would say 60, I think, Oakland A's baseball game used jerseys too, dating back into the 80s. So. Yeah.
We do want to make a plug for something you're looking for, but before that, I wanted to mention in Vegas, they have the Aviators. What is that?
Yes.
Triple A or yes, which is the Oakland A's farm. Well, sorry, the A's farm team. I got to get rid of Oakland.
Right.
Yes.
Now. I've been there. Games are fun. I've been there with John Nordell, and so great time. I don't think they'll be playing in April when we're there yet, but
no. And I mean, there's so much debate on the A's. I won't get into a whole lot, but I mean, them moving and the guys in Oakland obviously are not happy. And now for those of us that aren't in Oakland, I can tell you that a flight to Las Vegas, I can take direct out of Grand Forks, and is you can get a flight to Vegas for $300.
Yeah.
Now, I went to San Fran and Oakland, oh man, 7 or 8 years ago because I wanted to see the Coliseum. I had to go to Oakland at least once. And I tell you what, getting to San Francisco from Grand Forks, North Dakota is a treat. You know what I mean? It's so part of me is like, I mean, dang, they're moving. It kind of sucks, like the whole history. On the other hand, man, I might be able to hit a couple season or series a year. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
it makes sense. Unfortunately, so
I know I'm mixed on it, but at least I'll be able to go down there pretty easy. But yeah, getting into Oakland was not an easy task for coming from here. So
no, I mean, you would think SFO would have lots of flights, but
yeah, well,
shocked, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a A's jersey you're looking for, which
there is.
I've asked some people, but yeah.
I tell you what, I have been looking for this jersey for a long time, and it's so the San Jose Sharks did a mashup jersey with the Oakland A's logo on it. And I don't know, it's got to be, Paul, I don't even know. Would you know, maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago?
It sounds about right. I'm pretty sure it was pre-COVID, I'm pretty sure, so that's 6 years ago now. Wow.
Yeah. No, it was, so it had to be, I would say closer to 10 years ago. And it was a mashup jersey with the A's logo, and they wore it in warm-ups, warm-up worn. And, I didn't know of the auction, or I didn't get any. I don't remember what the circumstance was there, but I didn't get one. And I have been searching for that jersey for 10 years now, like relentlessly. So if anyone out there is listening and has one, I would definitely pay well for that particular. That is like my number one. I don't use the word grail lightly, I guess, but that is one that I've been looking all over for and put plugs out all the time. So
I'm pretty sure Mitch has one, but I know it's not for sale. But I will try to convince him to bring it to Vegas, and we can keep buying him Coors Lights for a while. See where that goes.
We'll all pitch in on that one.
Yeah, you have to let me know if I get out there. Let me know what he likes, and I'll just keep feeding him whatever alcohol of choice. And
Coors Light.
Yeah. No, I'd love to see one though. That'd be great. I mean, that's step one, right? At least see one. So.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully, we're getting you to Vegas, and we know Mitch will be there. So it's
right.
Yeah,
we will make things happen.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. We always do. Yes.
It'll be a party, right?
Yes.
So, with those big numbers of jerseys in both baseball and hockey. What is your favorite?
Favorite jersey, favorite team?
Yeah, actually, number one favorite jersey out of everything you have.
I have an early 70s. I have two actually, early 70s North Dakota jersey. When they wore the so they had the old Blackhawk logo back then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I mean, hammered isn't the word. They are just shot. And one has a blood stain on it. Like it's crazy. And I got it at a fundraiser, UND fundraiser, on auction, and the guy who wore it, his kid donated it to the auction, and I got it through that. But yeah, it's super. One thing is it's super rare. I mean, these old North Dakota ones from the 70s, 60s. I mean, they're just not out there. I mean, they threw them away right back then. So super rare, and just absolutely love it. It's a fun piece of history, to be honest.
So was that auctioned by the school, did you say, or what was the?
No. So every year they have, I should say, every 2 years they have what's called a Champions Ball, and it's just it's a fundraising. They have some live auctions. It's just a big fundraiser for the university. And so they have some, we'll say high-end stuff, one-of-a-kind things that either people donate or say they take some of the banners down at the arena and switch them out or something. So they auction one-of-a-kind things, right? And this happened to be one of them. Man, it was pre-COVID too, so I want to say about 8 years ago or so. And like I said, I got into went and checked it out and went to the Champions Ball and ended up taking that one home. So,
congratulations. That's so cool. That's
it was awesome. My wife wasn't necessarily incredibly impressed with my we'll say bidding habits that night, but hey, you know what?
Hey, sometimes that's how it goes. So did they recycle them year to year, or did they just, like you said, throw them away, or was it kind of a mix?
Well, and it's funny. So North Dakota has done so many different things with their jerseys back in the, 60s, 70s, 80s. A lot of times they gave them to, once they were done with them now, and depending on the year, but say they used them for 2 or 3 or 4 years or whatever it was, they would give them to either the club team or the intramurals. And so they would just give a batch of jerseys to them. And this happened all the way into like the 80s and early 90s. They would, once they got beat up or they got a new set or whatever it might be, they would either, if they were too beat up, they'd throw them away, or they'd give the remainder to intramural teams, or we have a club team in town as well. Well, what happened to them after that, nobody knows. You know what I mean? They could have been used on that intramural team for 2 or 3 years and thrown away. But North Dakota jerseys, 90s and prior, are really, really tough to come by. And guys that have them and do auction them off get incredible prices for them. I mean, it's insane. So I do have probably about 5 jerseys pre 2000. So they're tough to come by. I mean, that's and when they do, like I said, it's you're going to pay a heavy price for them. So
wow.
I'll bet. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's just how a lot of that stuff was with a lot of teams, especially college levels. And that is, we don't need them, moving on.
Yep. And, on the other hand too, with North Dakota collectors, it's kind of, I don't know how to put it, but it's kind of one of those things when you get one, it's such a big thing. You know what I mean? Because they're so rare. There's just not many out there. So when somebody finds one, or, you say, oh, geez, I got this, 92 jersey, and you can photo match it, or you can, it's a big deal. It's kind of, a lot of us that talk are just like, holy smokes, they found one, So Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's definitely fun.
Makes the chase more exciting, or even just be able to see people probably pull these out of random places.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's funny, every once in a while you'll see someone randomly post a picture of, hey, look at this jersey, and you're like, that's an old UND jersey. Where is this? And the guys, I mean, so UND is big into Canada, right? A lot of our recruits come from Canada. We're so close. And so a lot of them took them home up to Canada. Maybe they got a jersey or two after they played. And I've seen jerseys, someone will post one up in, Saskatoon or up in, Alberta somewhere. And you're just like, where did they get this? Like, how did this come out? So they pop up every now and then, but they're pretty scarce.
Or people find them in places like Goodwill or antique shops and things like that. It's insane how some of those show up that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So, I mean, you did a ton of collecting between all of this, but you also were involved in something else for a while, I believe.
Yeah. So, in 2019, so little backstory here. We'll start with we'll say the very beginning. How about that? We were getting kind of into COVID 2019, 2020, and, we're spending a lot of time at home. And, so I was doing some research on jerseys, and I guess I just found that going on Facebook and looking up Facebook, and then, maybe going to this guy's website and then going to Flickr and going all over was just, it was just really cumbersome. Right. And if you're looking for jerseys and this and that. So, in 19, I came up with an idea kind of like, hey, maybe I should put together a website that brings all of this together. Anybody can post their jerseys. You can put your jerseys on there, and all the information that goes along with it. So I did some research and got a company in town here to develop a website called JerseyPage. And that started late 2020. So, I mean, it took kind of the most part of a year to get things going. I mean, it was kind of a slower process, and but got that going. And I mean, I personally loved it. And a lot of guys did. I mean, there was definitely some mixed feelings about it. There were some guys that say, hey, this will never work. I mean, Facebook, Flickr, I mean, all those things have taken over, and they were kind of, we'll say not very positive about it. You know what I mean? They kind of had their own thing,
Sure.
But, guys kept adding, and it went through, I mean, it obviously went through now. I mean, it's still going, things are going great, but, basically I wanted to create this website where there was just as big a database, we'll call it, as you could get for game worn jerseys. So everybody out there, if 20,000 people, I don't know, whatever the number is, if you wanted to put your jersey on there with all the info, the team, the player, the league, all these kinds of things, then any one of us could go on there. And what we could do is we could search that. And we could say, okay, I want to look at all the St. Louis Blues jerseys on JerseyPage. So you go, you look up St. Louis, and it doesn't matter who owns the jersey. They all pop up, right? Then you could do other things, such as you could put it for sale. So you could filter, and you say, you know what? I have $1,000 burning a hole in my pocket today. I want to go on there. So what you do is you go to the St. Louis jerseys, then you hit the drop down that says, list the ones that are for sale. Boom. All of a sudden, now you have 20 jerseys in front of you that guys are willing to sell with their email addresses, right? So stuff like that, what I wanted to do was get into one space. So if you're, again, if you're looking for a Blues jersey, you're not going to 6 sites on Flickr, and then you're not scrolling around Facebook for 2 hours trying to find the last guy that posted a Blues jersey for sale, or you know what I mean? Organize some of this stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of been we'll say my work for the last, since 19. It's gone really well. And then when I started that in 19, I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I had time on my hands. They were going to bed early. And
you get your funny how you get your free time when they go to bed at 8:00 at night.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was like, hey, this is fun. I can work on this. I can put in time. Well, fast forward 6 years later, and they're in every sport under the sun, and they're, you know what I mean? We're traveling all over, and I didn't have the time to give to it the attention it needed. You know what I mean? And so about, I don't know, Paul, what do you think? About 3 months ago, I kind of messaged like, hey, I'm looking to move it, just someone, I want someone to take it on and make it bigger, better, give the time to it and say, hey, listen, this is that big database out there of all these jerseys and just this hub of jersey collecting. Right. And so Paul reached out and said, hey, so what are you thinking? And so Paul and I, for the last, couple months here, I suppose, have been working on transitioning JerseyPage to Paul. I believe, is it all set to go, Paul?
It's all live. Ideally, you should not notice anything different. It's actually been live for about 2 weeks now at the new server. There's a minor subtle change, just so I could tell what was the old server and what was the new server. But it behaves exactly like it has before. There's been no changes made at all, except for it's running on one of my servers right now.
Yeah.
That's
the big change so far. JerseyPage.com.
Correct. And I think one thing that Ryan did, which we're going to continue doing, and Ryan's going to keep being involved too. I'm not letting him get out of it that easily.
Yeah.
I mean, this was definitely his vision, and I really like how it came out. But we're keeping it free, unlimited number of jerseys. It's we might make some changes on how you can add them and stuff, but ideally they would be improvements, not trying to go backwards. But we have, like I said, it's up and running. It's WordPress based, which I mean, not anyone who knows anything about websites would figure out that it's WordPress by going through it. It's well done. It's a really good database of jerseys, easy to display, easy to add jerseys.
Yeah.
And right
Paul,
now,
do you remember how many are on there?
I should know.
It's a good number. I mean, and I don't remember off the top of my head, but I don't want to say a number because then I'll be wrong. But just for the listeners, I mean, it's not just 20 jerseys, right? I mean, it's a fair amount on there.
Yeah, there's a large number of users on it. Hundreds, and not everyone has put jerseys up there.
Yeah.
But because I think when you originally did it, you had to have an account to even look at jerseys. Now anyone can look at them. So
the only thing you need an account for is to access so you can view, if you load a jersey, you can put it as anonymous. If you want to put a jersey out there and you don't want anyone to know who has it, then that's totally fine. You can put it as anonymous. But if you put your contact information, say you want to sell a jersey, you have to log in to see that info. It's not just out there for everybody. And that's just more of a privacy thing, right?
Yeah. Exactly. 1,706.
Yeah. So 1,700 jerseys on there. And the funny thing is I'll go on there and guys were adding jerseys and doing this and that and whatever. And you just open it up, you go to jerseys and you pick whatever team and you just kind of, I don't know. I mean, there's so many jerseys that you just kind of get lost looking through them and you're like, man, I can't believe, I mean, I can't remember he played for this team, or you're just, I don't know. I have an absolute great time. Just, I mean, if you have time to kill, or you know what I mean, you're just going on there checking out jerseys, you know?
Yeah, no, I think it's, well, a great way to organize your collection, you
Yeah.
know, and then to view it what others have. You know, I've gotten used to dealing, you know, with the stuff on Facebook, you know, and part of that's being an admin in so many groups, and you know,
Right.
I kind of have to. But you know, this is, you know, a great way to display jerseys, see others without the drama, you know,
Yes.
without.
And I fully agree. You know, one of the other reasons that back then I wanted to do this was a little bit, you know, and like you said, Facebook has drama, right? You have guys, you know, now and then that, you know, they comment on things that you're whatever, you know, or you list something for sale and you get negative feedback. But, you know, on a platform like this, you can list your jersey for sale. You know, again, there's a drop down, you put for sale, away you go. You can check out the jerseys. And then, like I said, if you log in, you see that person's email address. Shoot them a quick email and say, hey, listen, I saw your jersey. You know, you want X amount for it. You know, can we talk? And it's just, I don't know. I mean, some people don't like email. I mean, you get 1,000 emails, but I don't know. I guess if you're buying and selling jerseys and stuff like that, I don't think it's a major hurdle, to be honest. But
And you can keep your email private, you know, if you don't want it out there. You know, it's, you do have to have, if you are trying to sell or trade something, you have to have some sort of contact info.
correct.
But
Yeah. The other cool thing about it too is when you do put your collection in there, you can actually generate a link. So you can go to your collection, copy and paste the you know, the web address on top. You can send that to anyone. Text, you can send it to Facebook, you can send it to anyone, and you can say, you know, people are like, hey, what kind of jerseys do you have? You can sort them by for sale. Send them a link. So you can send them the jerseys you have for sale. They click on the link and boom, they're right there. You don't have to repost that in, let's say, a dozen groups in Facebook, or you know what I mean? So
you can repost the link in a dozen groups on Facebook.
100%, much easier. Yes. So, you know, I hope people see this and, you know, obviously, you know, get it out to the world of, you know, that was one of my other problems too, is I had a hard time advertising it. You know, I mean, how do you put it out without spamming? You know what I mean? I don't know how to say that, but put it out there and say, guys, give it a try, these kinds of things. And I hope, you know, my vision is to see 10,000, 20. I mean, I'd love to see 10,000 jerseys on there. You know what I mean? So
we, you know, if it needs it, we will keep, you know, putting it on a more powerful server with more disk space. It's,
yeah.
you know, try to overwhelm us with it, please.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we're up for the challenge. I think it's going to scale well. It's really responsive. You guys have done a good job on having it work on both phones, tablets, and regular desktops.
Yeah.
I spend most of my time with it on the desktop because, you know, I hate doing things on phones, but it does work, you know, on the other devices and works well. It's responsive.
And I find myself, you know, I mean, a lot of us have the desktops at work. So I find in my downtime that I go on there and just scroll through jerseys. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of my thing, I guess. But yeah, so.
And there's been some added in the last week or two. I don't know if you've looked at it recently, but yes.
No, nice. That's great. No, that's good. Are you so and I don't think Paul and I have actually talked about this. Are you planning on you know, I mean, advertising it on the main Facebook page or anything as such, or how are you planning on promoting it?
Well, yes, and this is step one of promoting it. I didn't want to start promoting it until after we had you on the show so we can discuss it and
Mhm.
introduce it to our 142 listeners or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I know it's sorry, Doc, I just cannot resist
Nope.
something.
Hey,
But no, this is step one, and then we'll start pushing it on the Discord groups. Um, the Facebook group, sorry, Discord channels, Facebook groups, Reddit. Um, gonna talk to, we are interested in some sponsorship stuff. Dirty Laundry will probably be the first sponsor of it.
Nice.
And that's just, the ability to cover server costs and stuff. Because, I still do have to pay for hosting. Even if I don't recover a penny from sponsorships, we have a
Yeah.
long-term plan. Uh, we're going to do a couple enhancements. I'm not going to say changes, but like enhancements. Well, for a yearly donation, we'll give you your own email at JerseyPage. So something like, doc@jerseypage.com.
Yep.
And that's all real easy for me to set up.
So one of the things I wanted to set up and never got to it was, and this could be for future, maybe you'll say, no, it's silly, but I always, like if you had a big Vegas show, like you do coming up, and, when you advertise it, you say, okay, this, the Vegas Expo brought to you by JerseyPage.com, I don't know, how you advertise the expo, or, even put signage up or those kinds of things. But I always thought that, I was actually talking to Pat up in Winnipeg. This was years ago, about sponsoring the Peg Expo and some of those things again, Peg Expo brought to you by JerseyPage.com. And so, those would be kind of some really fun things, people, oh, what's JerseyPage? They see it right on the ads and stuff. So, yeah.
I agree with you. And that's, something we want to ultimately start doing. It might even be a sponsor for this year's Vegas show. I haven't,
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm dealing with some other logistical stuff with Vegas right now. And, just the simple fact that, I didn't want to do any promotion at all until this show is out there.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
now that can be done. Which,
Yeah.
I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And,
No, I'm looking forward to it. And I just, it was kind of my baby for how many years, and obviously passed it on to you. And I definitely would love to still be involved and just, bounce ideas off you guys, you know what I mean? And just say, hey, does this work? Does that work? And just be, like I said, just be involved. And, and the other thing too is, and we talked about this when we were transferring it over, was I just, I still want to be able to obviously put I love the sites. I'll put jerseys on there still, use the sites. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I only have about, I would say 75% of my collection on there. So I still have plenty to put on there.
good.
get
want to
the
see them
picture
up there.
taken.
Yeah. So, on the flip side, Paul, you're putting yours on there, I'm assuming.
Soon, yes. I have not started yet. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
no, I do find it a really good way to organize your collection. I was actually, when this came up as an opportunity, I've actually been working on a more non-WordPress database driven system for similar to it, but it still had a ways to go. And, I'll still work on that because I'm still trying to learn a few things in that area. I'm retired, but it's still good to keep, learning
you gotta stay sharp,
tools.
right?
Yeah, new tools and tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, my goal is to ultimately get my whole collection up there, or at least a part of the collection I can share.
Yeah.
And, and as you mentioned, you can do a link with your whole collection. Ultimately, I want to do it like it would be like paul.jerseykpage.com
Yeah.
to get to your collection, which is not too hard for me to do. I just haven't gotten around to
Cool.
doing that. So you did mention, feedback, ideas for future stuff and all that. One thing we will be doing is, I know our forums haven't gotten tremendous traction yet, but we're trying to get more traction on the Dirty Laundry forums that we have going. We will be creating a new section in there for feedback on JerseyPage.
Yeah.
So if you have a feature request, something you want to change, you find a bug or something, well, you can always contact me or Ryan, and we'll get to it. But also, that's a good place to gather the data and have other people comment on it. One of the things I I need to understand some of the code behind there before I make this change. But on sorting, I want to be able to sort by most recent jersey posted.
Yeah.
And I think I know how to do that, but I don't want to mess it up yet. So, I haven't touched anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Even though it's WordPress based, a lot of it is custom code. So, I have a little bit of PHP stuff I need to change to get something like
Well,
that working. But
and I'll be honest, I'm glad that you're working with it because, like I told you guys earlier, the computer jargon and the we'll say the intricacies of website making, all that kind of stuff is about a mile over my head. So I'm glad someone that knows how to do it is taking charge now, because I had another party do it, and they would ask me questions like, hey, do you want to change your this? And I'd be like, you just do whatever, and so yeah, super glad that there's someone that understands the whole web page thing is doing it now. I mean, I think that's, it's a huge benefit, right?
yes. And to follow up on that, if others listening to the show or watching it, however you view your podcasts, if you're interested in helping out, shoot me a message. It's there's enough that can be done. If you have some, PHP/WordPress from a technical side, could definitely use some help on it because,
Right.
it's fun.
Yeah.
I think we can accomplish a lot there. I think, what Ryan has built there it's great.
Yeah.
And it has tremendous potential.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And like I said, I hope it becomes the, this, we'll say the hockey jersey collecting hub. You know what I mean? Kind of the source you go to if you want to, again, if you want to pull up Vancouver Canucks jerseys and research, I mean, there's 200 jerseys on there for Canucks. Okay, so what did they wear in 78 to 80? And I mean, so not only looking at guys' jerseys, or excuse me, at people's jerseys and whatever you might look at, but the history and just the research that you could do on everything from, again, I mean, every league's on there. You could go into the Canadian Hockey League, you can go into IIHF, you can go into college. I mean, whatever you want to look for. I just think it would be a great resource to get all these jerseys on there. And, again, you could look up whatever you need and it's all in one place, and just a great organized thing. So that would be tremendous if like I said, you get that influx of jerseys coming on there and just see all these. So I think it'd be great.
Yeah, it's, and to feed off of that, if you get a hold of a UND jersey and have no idea what year it is,
Yeah.
It's a good resource to look at that. I do think it's worthwhile extracting some of that information and putting it in a static year by year page.
Yeah.
Per team. I know, like, the Blackhawks have a page which do that. Some other collectors have put that together, but it's most of it's based on stuff in their collection or stuff that they have close access to. With this, it's from everyone, from a large amount of collectors, and like I said, it has a world of potential.
Yeah.
And the more stuff we get up there, it's the better.
Yeah. No, and like you said, I think it'd be great too. I mean, if you get an off chance where you find a jersey, let's pretend it's at a pawn shop or somewhere where you just you pick it up at a rummage sale and you're like, man, I know it's a game worn jersey. to where you could put it out there on the page and I mean, or even like you said, get a hold of a number of guys that have those jerseys and just email them and say, hey, here's a picture. Again, you can do it in the Facebook way, right? But you may open up the can of worms you don't want to deal with sometimes when you put things out there as such. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Unfortunately, you are correct.
Yeah.
And again, Paul and Ryan, thank you for starting this project, and then Paul, you kind of picking it up and continue it. And I've been in IT. I'm in my 30th year of that, but I will say I 100% hate programming and web pages and those kind of things. So I appreciate guys like you that want to take that up. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
I can do a lot of cool IT related or technical related stuff, but I hate that kind of stuff. I used to do some web pages for local hockey team, and of course it was easy and small, but wasn't my career path, and I've never had the patience for it. So I never knock the guys that are able to do it, and especially like you, Ryan, not being in the IT field, just picking it up and doing it.
Yeah, it was. And again, you work with a company and you never know what they're asking. I mean, you hope they're asking you the right things or doing the right things. And yeah, so we got it to this point, and like I said, I'm just glad that Paul knows what he's doing, walking around that the computer stuff, because I think, I mean, he could do make it so much better just based on his expertise, both in the computer world, but then jerseys too. So okay, put those two together, and what would benefit the site, what would benefit the users, right? So
exactly, and we still need lots of feedback on it, on what people want to see, because both Ryan and I are looking at it from a specific angle, and everyone sees it differently.
Yeah.
And and we want constructive feedback. We want criticism of what's on there.
Yeah.
It's we can do tremendous growth with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And in the past too, this might be something to chew on, down the road. Now, I mean, I'm talking maybe even years down the road, but I've had a number of people email me about other sports as well. I haven't gone down that avenue. Hockey jerseys, for one, was a lot to get going.
Yeah.
Then you start adding again, I'm a baseball collector, and you have football, and you have, basketball, you name the sports, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the future looks like or what your vision for the future is, but, maybe again, years down the road, there's potential for, other sports if you want to go that route. I'm not sure. I'm not big enough into any other, baseball, yes, but you know what I mean? The other sports to justify it.
Like I said, I still have a lot of the code base to dig through and digest.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's two options of doing that. One, you could actually throw it on the current jersey page and just have, I say, baseball or football jerseys, or whatever in there. Or it's written in such a way, it appears to me, that we can actually clone a copy of it and do like football jersey page, so, and it would be a complete new URL, new website with similar back end.
Sure.
On how the code's written. Because you have the details specific to hockey, and then there's also a lot of the code that's written is mostly generic.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it would need to be refactored and changed from what I've seen, but it shouldn't be. It's not a tremendous undertaking. So it could be, expanded on to other sports. Right now, I want to focus on hockey and get this as good as we can get. But then that's an option. And I'll be honest, I know very little about jerseys from other sports and memorabilia. I know a lot about World Cup tickets, but
yeah. Well, with the World Cup coming, no, I was just saying, with the World Cup coming, there'll probably be, an explosion of interest in soccer jerseys, or what I mean. It's maybe I don't know. I know nothing about soccer jerseys. I'll be honest, right? But
it's a huge collecting space of match worn shirts.
Sure.
I know like the World Cup shirts, and jerseys and stuff from like UEFA Champions League and all. They actually have the match written on the jersey.
Oh, no kidding.
So you have to, there's other things to make sure it's actually a game worn one on that. And someone like, I don't know, Brandon Matera, one of our good friends overseas, he's an expert on this stuff.
Oh,
And
sure. Yeah.
and he does a lot of football/soccer collecting.
Yeah.
It would be great to have him on the show and discuss that aspect. How do you tell if it's match worn or not?
Yeah.
Because even if it's tagged, Spain versus Netherlands that date, how do you know it's not a replica?
Absolutely.
If I find something, I ask someone like Brandon. So
yeah. No, and that's a good point. Ask the experts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's we don't use the word experts, but right, Doc?
Yes, I'm taking heat for that one, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Nor should you. So, but yeah, no, I think that this is something that could easily be grown into the different sports. But at least for the foreseeable future, we're working on getting this as good as it can be for hockey. And changes that people or enhancements that people want to see. There's there's and then we can if someone is interested in doing this for football, soccer, baseball, we have a lot of baseball collectors and a lot a lot of them overlap with the hockey collectors.
Yeah.
I probably have a dozen baseball shirts. I know nothing about them other than I know where I got them, and I think half of them are Aviators shirts, thank you.
Really?
John. Yes. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Being that they're the AAA club for Oakland, I know, I would say a fair amount about the Aviators, but that's cool. I actually have a few Aviators as well. So
yeah, they actually sell some of them directly at the game, which is really cool. So if you go to an Aviators game and, it's, the staff there is wonderful. It's they have some really, really cool shirts. It's just like minor league hockey. You get some really cool, specialty game designs and stuff, which you don't see in the major leagues.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and what I've noticed too is like we have a USHL team just down the road in Fargo here, and the nice thing about them is they're, most of their game worn jerseys, when you get into some of those minors, are very, very affordable. $150, $200 tops for, a game worn jersey. To me, that's pretty legit, and it's, I don't know, they're fun to have, right? They do, I know the Force down there do, let's say, half a dozen specialty jerseys. They do Star Wars and they do, some, you name it night, so they have not only their regular set, they have a home away and an alternate, and then they have 6 specialty nights. So, each player has probably 8 or 9 jerseys, and they flood the market a little bit, but on the other hand, they're affordable, so sure. I don't know. I enjoy them as well.
It is a shame that Justin Walden could not join us tonight because he's a big Fargo Force fan.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And I didn't realize that you guys were friends with Justin. I guess I didn't make that connection. So I've chatted with Justin a number of times. He's tried to get me to go to Winnipeg for a couple of their shows, and it just, for whatever reason, the Winnipeg shows either overlap with hockey stuff here, or they do an August one, and I'm always out of town because as you guys know, the summers are real short up here in North Dakota.
What's it, about 10 minutes?
Yeah. So in August, we got to take advantage of, we're at the lake quite a bit. So, it's just the Winnipeg ones, just for whatever reason, don't line up with my schedule really. And he's mentioned, I'll pick you up on the way through. And I said, well, I wish it was as easy as that. But, so.
And let me guess, hot, humid, and bugs. Describe your summer.
Yeah, well, and it depends. Like, I'll be honest, June, it's all over the place. But yes, we are typically humid. But early on in the year, if we can get it nice, it'll be 75, 80 degrees, which nice. I can handle. Yeah. But then, you get into July and August, of course, then we get, then we get the southern heat to push up here, and then it gets into the hundreds. It's funny because we'll get into the hundreds, but yet we'll also get 40 below, right? So it's
Gotta freeze those Gophers somehow.
Right.
yeah, we're seasoned up here. If you have to walk, I tell you what, if you have to walk about 3 or 4 blocks when it's 40 below out and a 40-mile-an-hour wind to get to a UND game, you've accomplished something. You deserve a beer when you get inside.
The $12 beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going to school in Michigan, and then also I spent a winter in Minneapolis way back when.
Yeah.
And I remember one week where the high was minus 20 Fahrenheit. It's 20 below Fahrenheit before a wind chill. And it's just, you'd walk out and your nose would freeze up. It's just, any moisture on you would instantly freeze,
Yep.
God forbid your hair was wet at all, because, it's a terrible thing there.
It's funny because, I've been in North Dakota my whole life, and, you kind of get used to it. I mean, I hate to say this, but we when it gets up to 100 degrees or in the summer and it's humid and it's, some of us are just like, holy smokes, it's too much, but yet when it's 0 degrees out, but there's not a wind and the sun's out, it's fine. I mean, we have outdoor rinks all over Grand Forks. I'll bet you we have, we must have 12 or 15 outdoor rinks besides the 8 indoor rinks. It'll be 0 out, and we'll call it nice, if you want to call it that. And every rink around is packed with kids.
And you're talking 0 Fahrenheit, not 0 Celsius for our European listeners and Canadians. Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone else besides us.
Besides the US.
Yeah. Hey, we're just above Canada. Like, we're right there. We're real close. But no, it's
Canada light.
Yeah.
I will be honest. I've always found 0 still coldish, but when I lived in Minneapolis, I found like 10 to 15. It's just like, hey, this is feeling pretty good. It's
if the sun's out, it's funny. It'll be 10 degrees out, and the sun will be out, but yet all the roads will be slushy. You know what I mean? So things are melting. You're getting The problem is once the sun goes down, then all of a sudden you got a skating rink on the roads, and then it turns into a mess, right? So, it's just what we got to deal with up here. So,
I remember those days. I am very happy to say I love living in California. So it's
and in where I'm at in Central Illinois, I can go from snow one day to a tornado the next day to 85 the day after that, and I have done that in the same week in the last decade. That has happened. So
it doesn't surprise me.
But I mean, hockey and getting to games, whatever the weather, we're dedicated. We're going to do those things. Well,
Well, and once you have kids in sports, it doesn't matter. It'll be a borderline blizzard, and they'll say, hey, listen, no travel advised. But if you have to go to a game with your kid's game 70 miles down the road, you're going. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's looking at you like, there's no way we're staying home. And you're like, I can't see past the front of my car. But it doesn't matter. We're going.
The puck drops at 3. We got to get there.
Exactly. 4-wheel drive. Lock it in. We're going.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground, a lot of cool stuff, and again, your collection. I mean, with just the amount of UND jerseys in the background there is awesome, and I like how you do it. And again, did not expect stories about frozen Gophers, which even better. I like when interviews and stuff go routes that I would never expect to hear or see. But again, I love that you and Paul are working together on JerseyPage, and we'll continue to grow it. Say with the, it sounds bad. I was telling my wife about this while we were having dinner earlier tonight. The Dirty Laundry brand being involved in so many things. It's just kind of funny where all of this stuff that 3 years ago none of us had anticipated any of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But just remember, when you're Googling Dirty Laundry and looking for the podcast, please Google Dirty Laundry Hockey.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you may find a lot of things that you didn't expect, and those are not hosted by us.
Yes.
nor will they be. So.
Right.
That's funny.
But
You can see those other things in Vegas when you're down there, right?
right. Yeah. But what happens in Vegas will go on the podcast later.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have a post Vegas. Well, and
Well.
you know what the thing is if both North Dakota and Michigan make it, maybe I can come back on. We can debate how it went. You know what I mean?
We will
Oh,
have
for
a bet
sure.
on the game if both make it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
But
there
yes,
you go.
yes.
I will. I tell you what, if North Dakota, if we both make it, I think the opposite person's going to be wearing the other person's team of choice jersey, at least during the podcast next time. How about?
That works for me.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do
we
have
can-
I have a UND practice jersey. I don't have a UND gamer.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind a Pearson, or I forget who else you had there.
Oh, Pearson. So Pearson just got auctioned.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm trying to. I've had a couple of big purchases lately, so I'll try to stay away. But Pearson was one. Perron was there. We've had a couple players who've played at both schools, which I'd be happy to. Would love to pick up a North Dakota like that for my collection. So
yeah. No, I hear you. Perron that was a tough one to lose. I tell you what, I liked Perron. I tell you what,
he's been incredible for us. I mean,
And
just that if we get to see UND in the tournament somewhere, it would have to be in the Frozen Four because I think both are locked into one seeds now.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Playoff college hockey is one of the best times of the year, and I enjoy it, especially the playoff format is usually one and done. You know what I mean? So you got to come to play, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. This time of year is really, really fun.
Oh yeah, it's and some of the college tournaments have already started. One of the East Coast leagues, has, and it's all the conference champions, tournament champs get in. So if you've had a terrible season, I'm looking at you, Arizona State. You still have a shot at making the tournament. You just have to, win your tournament.
Funny story on that is, so ours starts this weekend.
Yep.
Arizona State was the only team. We have 9 teams this year. Arizona State didn't make the tournament. So Arizona State's done.
I did not know. I thought you still had.
Yeah.
I thought you still had a week of regular season. Wow.
No, we playoffs start tomorrow for us. We host Omaha as the 1-8. We won it, so we get the 8 seed. Well, we have 9 teams this year because Arizona State joined. Next year, St. Thomas is joining the NCAC, so we'll go back to 10, and we'll have, so then it'll be the 1-10 seed. Well, this year is the one off season to where it's like, what do you do with that 9th place team?
Yeah.
Well, so Arizona State, they were in contention. Arizona State, Omaha, and Miami of Ohio were all in contention to, depending on how the last week, played out. And Arizona ended up getting swept by Denver. So kind of a bad draw in the last game. Yeah. But then Omaha won theirs, whatever. So Omaha got the 8 seed, and Arizona State's, they're already golfing. So
take back what I said. Not every team has a shot. Yes.
They're the only team.
Yeah, in all fairness, Miami is not a bad team. They can beat a lot of teams. I mean, your whole conference there is strong, top to bottom. So
yeah, no, it's fun, and I just saw this. Michigan State beat Minnesota 7-1 tonight.
Yeah, so Michigan State gets the 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Michigan will be playing Notre Dame in a one and done next weekend.
Yeah,
but
and so my thing is let's look back the last 10 years. When has Michigan State blown Minnesota out by 6 goals? I mean, Minnesota is traditionally a great. I mean, they're awesome, right? Like, I mean, they're good, and they've had a tough year this year. So, I mean, like I said, the score came up: Michigan State 7, Minnesota 1. And I was like, holy smokes, that's
a shock actually, because Minnesota's been playing a lot better. I mean, they've had a rough year for them, but it's they can get in by winning the tournament. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, from the Big Ten, Michigan State, Penn State are locks, and Wisconsin's almost a lock. But
Wisconsin's close. I did see that they had the bracketology out, and I want to say it was last week we had Wisconsin in the predicted brackets.
oh, okay, yeah, sure.
And now this week it's Augustana, which
Oh, okay.
which is really cool. They're a first-year school too,
Yeah.
out of Sioux Falls there. So
Yeah, as long as they don't send you to Colorado. I mean, you don't want to be playing, in Denver's backyard in Loveland.
yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, Denver's someone that I'm. Let's just say, the whole, your Michigan State. I have about 2 or 3 teams too that, I'd rather stay away from until the big series. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
got to beat all of them to win, right? To win.
Oh,
it all.
yes. Well, and it's tough. I mean, it's tough because the regionals, if you are a regional host and you make the tournament, you are guaranteed to play at home.
Right.
So, Denver will be probably a 2 seed, and whoever's the 1 seed in the Denver regional is, going to hate playing Denver in Denver. It's.
And so that happens out east quite a bit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you get some of these in Worcester and, those Boston schools or whatever. And, I mean, you have a Boston team that say they're a 3 seed.
Yeah.
Well, Boston always has great teams, whether it's BC or BU. And all of a sudden they're a 3 seed and your 1 seed has to go out east and play in their backyard.
Yes. As long as they're the host. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying is that makes it tough, but that's just the way it is,
Oh, yeah. That's how Michigan made it to the Final Four and won the championship in '96. We were at Yost. Minnesota came in. This is back in the old WCHA days, and Minnesota was clearly the better team. But yeah, Michigan made it through it, and I think we beat North Dakota one year at Yost during the tournament.
That could be. Yeah.
We've hosted a few times. We haven't done that in like 20 years now, which is a shame. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
no, absolutely. We could have an entire 2-hour podcast just on college hockey.
I think we might have done that already, but
we're getting pretty close. Have we exceeded the 1 hour limit?
We have no limits here, but we can talk about a lot of things. I do want to touch on, and again, Ryan, thank you for sharing your UND collection, and it is for anybody. If you can get to any college game, do it, because the atmosphere. I don't care how many NHL games you've been to, the atmosphere is so different. You just can't explain it. Like I said, I was blown away at the Frozen Four. But I do want to touch on, before we get out of here tonight, the Avs auction finally closed. I had our listener Josh was messaging me right before we started recording, and in the countdown, they kept doing 30-second time ads for till the bidding completely stopped, and it went. I probably refreshed it at least 24 times. It seemed to go if there was bidding activity. And again, any Avalanche collectors, correct me if I misstate how that worked. But it seemed every time I refresh it or there's bid activity, there'd be yet another 30-second countdown. And if the activity kept going, it kept resetting 30 seconds.
Sure.
But some of the numbers here: Devin Tays, 4,026. McCarr, 18,775. Brock Nelson, 6,275. Ross Colton, 3,025. The 3 McKinnons marked A, B, and C all closed with 5 digits. A sold for 11,525. B sold for 11,180, and C sold for $14,050. One of the things that when we first mentioned this auction, and I think we talked about it last show, it hadn't officially opened yet, is their descriptions suck. Their pictures are front and back of the jersey, and it shows the fight strap with like the start date. It has a set stamp in it, start date written on the fight strap, and in McKinnon's case, A, B, or C. The only description says Colorado Avalanche, Quebec Nordiques jersey, size 54, and that's all. They also, I noticed, compared to some of the other GiveSmart pages the NHL teams use, some of the other pages you can go look at the bid history. This, you can see the number of bids, but it does not actually give you the history. For the McKinnon C jersey, as example, 83 bids. Wow. And that finished it out at $14,000 $50. Scrolling through some of the other ones in here. Burns had an A, B, and C, 39.50, 38.25, and 38.25 for those three. Marty Natchez was 7,000. Landeskog 8,775. Those are kind of the biggest. The pucks, the most expensive puck, Makar goal puck at $2,000. Even and it unclear how many. Looks like it's just one. A single pair of size medium Nordique style pants sold for $800. Blackwood's gear, I actually thought that sold at a very reasonable price. Glove and blocker set $950, and the goalie pads $1,075. That's the cost of a goalie set. I mean, it's a very nice design. It's simple. I like it. That's a very reasonable price for those both pieces of equipment. But we'll have to compare once the next auction round of these comes out. And I thought I was told the next round that they're wearing them for 3 games, but we'll have to confirm that. But compare these two sets where they land.
Has Carolina, do you know, have they auctioned their whalers off yet?
I don't know. I swear that was coming.
Okay.
But I'm not certain.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't seen that one yet. I was just curious if you guys have heard anything.
I don't remember if do they run theirs through GiveSmart or something else, Paul? I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I know I've seen some of the hurricane stuff auctioned before, but
yeah,
I can't recall if it's GiveSmart.
You know what? I think it is, because I did find the Carolina Hurricanes Foundation on GiveSmart, but the auction it landed on, I'm not sure when this is from.
And they have an auction every game, I know, but
yeah.
They have the single jersey auction every game. I was just curious if they did the Whalers.
And, you know, actually, yes, they do go through that, because, of course, my brain's on 12 different levels on things for this week, as I actually was reached out to by a collector raising some questions on one of their auctions, where a set one was auctioned once for a particular player, and now that jersey, or a jersey that's tagged the same way, has showed up again.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions, and several people, I guess, have been trying to dig into what the story is, if the player's wearing like multiple sets, but we've not had any solid info yet.
So funny enough, I was actually looking at that particular jersey as well, as a Jackson Blake jersey from, I want to say, maybe 3 or 4 days ago.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yep. And he came up. So Jackson Blake, obviously UND guy, and I'm looking for a Carolina jersey. So it came up, and another guy that's a big Carolina guy, he texted me, and he was like, "Oh, look into that one." He's like, already, he sent me screenshots of both of them and same tag. So I didn't bid on it just because of that. But yeah, so that question did pop up. Yeah.
And no additional tagging like in the neck, like
Nothing.
The Red Wings sometimes will put a number back there.
No, it was
too, but like, yeah.
Yeah, identical. And that's why it was kind of like, did he wear 2? Was he, and of course, when they auction them during the game, it's hard to get a hold of them and ask any questions. I mean, it's literally up for 8 hours, or you know what I mean, whatever it is. So no, I didn't bid on that one, but I do I do know which one you're talking about. So
yeah, I'll have to and I apologize, I didn't have it pulled up, just with juggling other things. I'd kind of forgotten about it, but maybe one I want to touch on next week is look into that and see if there's any answers that anybody's been able to determine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But with that, we have covered a ton of ground. And Ryan, thank you for sharing what you collect, how you got into it, being in North Dakota there, and then your motivation to start JerseyPage. And I know you and Paul will really work together on making it last and go forward, and really getting it into something cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you guys for having me on the show. It was awesome. Appreciate it. And just had a good time chatting jerseys with you guys tonight. So would love to come on in the future if you guys would allow it, just to, chat up the college hockey world, right?
Yeah, definitely. And if stuff happens in Vegas, I know we'll be recording a show that morning, and if there are people around, we may plan on recording some other episodes over that weekend. If schedules allow it for people, I'll just set up the studio in my hotel room, and we'll record all kinds of other shows. But hopefully it'll work out, Ryan, and we'll see you guys in Vegas, and that'll be a fun little extra thing. But with that, give us a like, subscribe, follow, share it with your friends, all those kind of things. If you have want to come on the show, you have topics to cover, you are seeing weird auctions, strange things, I don't have a problem reaching out to teams or other stuff going, hey, what can you tell us about this? As long as I can fit it into around my work schedule, that I will do some of that legwork for people if I need be. But anything at all having to do with the show, reach out to Paul, Wade, or myself. Again, missing Wade this week, but he will be back on the show next week. Until then, you guys enjoy. And if you're heading up to Pegspo, please travel well. Good luck on the jerseys. If you bought into that, reach out to Pat if you still want to do that. Couple left. So good luck. Can't wait to see what everybody draws with that Luck of the Draw auction this weekend. We will see you back next week.